Hello viewers, this is Marianne from Revealing Light Tarot. I wanted to read today on, pardon me, on Donald Trump's attacks on John McCain. I also want to have a look at generally his mental state. I want to look at his attacks on Conway. All these things are blending into the one thing. This is both a president who's seeking to deflect, who's also counterpunching, as they say. It's his way of defending himself. But he has what it is highlighting is that he has my impressions are that his a grip on the mores of society, on what should be, what civility, what is totally unsavory, unpleasant. He's not able to read those signs. Now, I would wager here, the vast majority of Americans do not want to see Trump attacking the late John McCain. He was both, as we know, a war hero and a long-time senator, a previous presidential candidate, someone, despite whichever way you vote, and whatever you think of politicians, someone who was there for a long, long time and gave a lot of service. The outpouring that we had over when he passed was indicative of the esteem at which he was held. Now Trump is really the equivalent of just trashing his gravesite. So my impressions are also he's waging a war with George Conway, Kellyanne Conway's husband, who has doubted or put forward some doubts around Donald Trump's mental state. Now, all of this is going unchecked. The GOP don't seem to be interfering in any way at this point in time. Some senators are, but I'm talking about GOP leadership. Don't appear to be coming back at this time in any meaningful way to really shut Donald Trump up. So now let's have a look here. I'm going to just have a look at what's behind his attacks on Senator McCain. I'm getting that, I know that his daughter Meghan McCain talked about Donald Trump being jealous of the way that McCain was highly thought of, and I'm getting that there is that aspect there. He's also looking for someone to blame for his current circumstances. I feel that he is so angry with everything that is happening, and he's also fearful. And when people are fearful, they become quite aggressive. And I feel that that his attacks on McCain are born out. My impressions are born out of fear and also that jealousy aspect there. Now we know he's just lying. He's just lying. He didn't authorise his funeral. He authorised Air Force One to go and pick the senator's body up. He didn't authorise the funeral. Congress did. So we know that there are these lies. We know he's saying that he said he would vote for Obamacare, to repeal Obamacare. We know he didn't say that before the vote. So there are these lies that he's bringing forward. My impression is my impressions are that he's actually getting worse as the investigations into him increase. I feel that there is a part of him that wants to take a wrecking ball to the Republican Party as well. To everything, really, that crosses lines to everything. There's a wrecking ball there. I just feel that he is angry and fearful. So let's have a look at what we need to know about the President of the United States' current mental health here. What do we need to know? Is it stable? Is his mental health stable? Okay, so let's have a look here. We've got the Knight of Cups coming forward. That's interesting. It may be that someone could come forward with a proposal around Trump's mental health here. The 25th Amendment. What is challenging this is well, it's a card of manipulation. So even now, with as bad as things are getting, sorry, I just had to check that light. As bad as things are getting, the GOP leadership are not acting. But I feel that there is something in the background around his mental health being questioned. Perhaps we'll see a proposal coming forward. Now we've got the truth here which is the foundation of the reading, and what this is saying is that what is causing his erraticness, his these almost savage attacks, is the sword of truth is virtually hanging over his head, and he knows it. So there's a deflection aspect here as well. The Page of Pentacles, it's his fortune that's bothering him. He knows look, it's the information that is likely to come out around his empire and the real state of his finances. It's also, that's really what's making him quite angry. The Retreat card here, the Four of Swords, comes forward when my impressions are when someone is not well. At the very least, he seems to be overburdened, with not really seeing the reality of what he's saying, and nobody is actually controlling him or able to control him. These are my impressions from this card. These cards. Now we have in the immediate future the Queen of Swords, and of course that again is now that's connected with a woman here. This card's coming up quite often, and I do feel this is the investigations. They're really wounding Donald Trump, and they're costing him. They're going to cost him his fortune. He knows that. He's desperately, desperately angry, desperately fearful. Now, at the moment, we're waiting for results. Now, obviously, we're waiting for results. What are we waiting for? We're waiting for action to to make sure that the President of the United States is absolutely stable. The environment around is I do feel that people are worried. My impressions are that they are worried about Donald Trump. They are worried about his mental state. I think more and more people are questioning that as he starts to launch these kind of attacks. And over Twitter, however many 20-something odd tweets in one weekend, aggressive, threatening tweets. And now the hopes and the fears here, people are actually quite fearful that he could do something that could cost everybody quite substantially. That's the hopes and the fears. I feel at the same time he's trying to circumvent things. The White House Counsel is stonewalling the Congress. I also feel that there's a great deal of fear around his current mental states. They're my impressions of this through these cards. The Six of Pentacles, giving and receiving help. Now, sometimes this comes across with loans and debts. Okay, so that's telling me he's extremely worried about the look into his finances, so I'm connecting these two cards. Yeah, and potentially the relationships, partnerships. It's almost like I'm getting this impression that he's had in the past in relation to his loans and debts, Deutsche Bank. I'm almost getting the impression that Trump is more fearful of his what could be found out about his business than in some ways the Mueller report. Mueller was a catalyst almost, but the investigations have they've widened, they've gone out, through to New York, through to his business. And this is what he fears most. He is trying to look at ways that he can circumvent these things. So he's still fighting at the moment. But these cards, or my impression of these cards, is that this is actually making him launch these attacks. But it's suggesting he could be not well. I do feel someone's going to come forward in some way and question his stability. It could come from Congress. It could come from Pelosi and the Democrats in the House. So what do we need to know mostly now about Trump's mental health? Yeah, okay, right now he is the President of the United States. This is also lawmakers. Are they going to act? There's the hope that they will, but I'm not seeing that they're going to do that at the moment. Don't forget, the Republicans are in the Senate. The Democrats have the House. It appears that my impressions are, he's unwell. He's trying to juggle. The thing that's really setting him off is the investigations into his business. So let's ask, are they likely to oversight him? Are they? Okay. Okay. Is there going to be something coming forward in relation to the 25th Amendment from Congress? Are we going to see something coming forward, some talk, some perhaps move in some way in relation to question the President's mental health from Congress? From Congress, question his mental health from Congress. Is there going to be a move from Congress to question Trump's mental health? Are the lawmakers going to be questioning it? Okay, I feel that okay, so here is the intent card that was the outcome card in the previous reading. I feel that this is going to come from the Democrats. There's going to be some move toward questioning that in the actual Congress. Now, the Two of Swords will challenge that, so there's multiple forces weighing on this to do this. It's quite serious, but there are decisions to be made. Okay, there are decisions to be made, and it is around my impression is around moving the president on, relocating him, taking him out of office. In the past we've got these things that have been happening quite quickly and quite strongly in the Eight of Wands. So these are the tweets, these are the attacks on McCain. It just came in rapid fire. Now, endings and beginnings are the potential here. So as things worsen, as these investigations ramp up, I feel that there's going to be more and more coming from the Congress to actually talk about, have an open discussion about Donald Trump's mental health and whether or not he is fit to be there. We've got in the immediate future, we've got the Nine of Wands, and this is the battle-weary card. I feel this is Trump. So we've got endings and beginnings here, the potential in relation to this question, and it's connecting with Trump feeling battle weary. The number of investigations here, let's call a spade a spade. The number of investigations here into the president, situation that is currently facing the US at the moment is it's taking its toll on my impressions are an unstable president. People are seeing at the moment, this is the Queen of Cups, people are seeing things that are glaringly obvious. We're seeing the slip-ups, we're seeing the attacks, and it could be that lawmakers might come together in some way, particularly in the House. The environment around is judgment, which means that not only are they judging Donald Trump, they're judging that my impressions are that he may not be fit to be the President of the United States, because there is he's not stable is what I'm getting. My impression is he's not stable. So the hopes and the fears, we've got those that seek to really hope for, to do the right thing. This is the parent here who comes in and who offers that support here. Now the outcome card, we've got waiting for results. Now that's interesting. So this is saying that they're waiting for results and potentially doing some planning. It seems that they're always waiting for results, always waiting for results. And this is the Six of Pentacles, which is the giving and receiving help. Okay, so I'm feeling, and then the Tower card. Okay, so what this reading is showing me, my impressions are that they are still waiting at this point in time. They understand the problems. They understand that my impressions are that there is a need to act, but they are still waiting for things to mature. However, there's going to be this. We've got this. So the other aspect of this is that, some sort of decision needs to be made. I feel it's around they're waiting for Moola to come forward. But, we've got this Tower card. I see it coming up more and more often in the readings that I do these days. Something has to end. So I feel that the Congress will be talking more and more about whether or not the president is stable and the need potentially to act in some way to make sure that that they're in the national interest. So I just want to finish. I'll just do a quick reading on whether the Mueller report is going to come forward in some way to circumvent all of this and accelerate things. Is Mueller likely to bring down... Okay, so I'm just getting something here around April. Again, they were my impressions. I do feel other lawmakers... is Mueller aware of the criticalness of the situation? What's really going on there? What's really going on in their minds? Are they aware of the critical nature of the situation? Okay, Mueller. Okay, so we've got this Four of Cups here. So it could be you might see something, not the full report, but something coming out because this is indicating a smaller offer. But it's also loss here, the Five of Cups. Let's keep going. Eight of Cups, loss again. Loss and walking away. We've got the Empress here in relation to making sure that things are secure. This card can also be Russia. The Devil. Okay, so in relation to the loss, I asked if they were aware. They are. And the Lovers card coming forward. It's what has been lost also through all of this. And we've got the Six of Wands, which is victory, which is really in relation to this, making sure that the country is secure. So, this is potentially, secrets being revealed. The ending, again, the ending of the presidency. Things happening strongly, coming forward strongly and quickly. Look at all these major arcanas. But we're looking at potentially waiting here. Okay, something is holding them up. Potentially coming from the government. What are they waiting for? Or the law, or the courts. Okay. Mueller is waiting for something else, some piece of the puzzle, to come forward that perhaps is before the courts, something that the judge might be waiting, or they might be collecting more evidence on. There is one final piece of the puzzle that Mueller needs before he can bring forward that report. They are aware of the criticalness of the situation. They're aware of what America is losing. The longer that my impressions are, the longer that the president is in this situation, they're aware of the loss. So I can't say right now. Right now they're waiting. They're waiting for something. They're waiting for something that's before the courts. But they are aware of the critical nature of this situation. That's my impression through these tarot cards. So I'm going to leave it there, and I'll be back again with another reading in the next day or two. So thank you again, viewers.